It's time for the open house on WHTL.
What are you, some kind of real estate agent?
You're joking, right? I don't joke about real estate.
With the Hansen Real Estate Group.
I never understood why people are so afraid to eat at an open house.
I know.
The open house starts right now.
And it does here on this cloudy, cool Wednesday. And I'm being joined by Jackie Hansen in studio. Good morning, Jackie.
Good morning.
Always good to see you. And, you showed me a really cool picture that you took when you got here to the studio today. And,
yeah.
That's really awesome. We had a deer hanging outside the studio right by the WHTL rig, and Jackie was able to get a picture of it.
Yeah, it was kind of neat.
It is. We see a lot of wildlife out here. We're kind of out in the country, and not unusual to see deer.
Yeah, they weren't scared. You can tell they were right at home here.
And the rabbits are that way, too. I mean, you can almost walk right up to them, and they just kind of sit there and look at you, and never a bear yet. I have not run into a bear.
Oh, well, that's okay.
But it's going to happen someday around here.
Right.
Then we'll see how fast I can move, even as an old guy,
Right.
But anyway, good for you to join me. And today we're going to be talking about real estate myths.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who aren't super fluent in, the buying and selling real estate, don't do it every day, have a lot of misconceptions, I think, when it comes to that. And the first one I want to talk about is the myth of selling your home for sale by owner will save you money. Well, hiring a realtor is not cheap, but there's a lot of ways that we can make you money or, recoup the money that maybe you would think you would be paying us. Sellers might price your home too high, and then it takes months to receive an offer. Or you could price it too low and leave money on the table. That's where we come in. We price it where it needs to be to get people through the door and get you offers. And then a realtor will guide you through all the financial, legal jargon, inspections, buyer contingencies, as well as protecting you with disclosures and your legal rights and responsibilities. If you sell it on your own, you may need to get an attorney involved. Well, there's a fee in that too, so you wouldn't necessarily need to do that if you have a realtor in most cases. And realtors have a marketing plan to reach as many potential buyers as possible. So we have a lot of ways that we use advertising online. The MLS, it just goes everywhere. So you're going to get more buyers for your property.
You brought up a really good point that had crossed my mind when you were talking about that, and that's that, there is so much paperwork involved when it comes to selling a property that if you're doing it yourself, I was sitting here thinking in my mind, well, you're going to have to hire an attorney to help you with all the paperwork. You might as well just have a realtor in the first place and make it easy.
Right. And then you don't have to sell your own house. You don't have to negotiate with people. There's just a lot of, it's really hard to sell your own house because you're emotionally attached to it. You've done a lot of, you might have raised your family in the house. You might have, done a lot of work and you do have kind of an emotional connection to your house. So, we kind of put all that aside and you don't have to do anything. We take care of everything.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. So selling yourself, not necessarily always a good idea.
No, and not necessarily always saving money.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You can be a penny wise and a dollar foolish.
Exactly.
All right.
So myth number 2, if you see a home online, that means it's available. Right off the bat, I have phone calls all the time. They see a house on Realtor or Zillow most of the time, and they think that, well, it's on there. There's no reason we can't go see it. Well, I have to explain that, these major online real estate sites, such as Zillow, are aggregator sites. So what that means is they're gathering as many listings as possible to get traffic on their website,
right.
Both from the MLS, but also from public record data. That means they're not always up to date, and it just depends on how often they refresh their data. It's very frustrating for buyers. If a listing says active, it means available. But anything else is probably already under contract or on the way to closing. To get the best, most up-to-date information, call your licensed realtor, as we have the database right in front of us that the general public does not.
Okay, are there some websites that are more reliable than Zillow?
Yes. So Realtor.com, it feeds directly off the MLS. So the minute we make a change in there, I shouldn't say the minute, it might take a day to feed over. But Realtor.com feeds directly off the MLS.
Right.
Yeah, yep. So that would be the most up-to-date one, but it's confusing for buyers. If you see it online, it's, they don't know what contingent and pending and all these things actually mean, but just call your realtor.
You
Call
mean
your
you
realtor.
can't believe everything you see
No,
online?
you can't. I know it's
Wow.
hard to it's hard to believe, but
I know that's kind of hard to believe.
right.
You know, I've always found that Zillow, if you're interested in what a place looks like, it's probably a good site to go to look at a picture.
That's what I say. Pictures,
But then go to a reputable realty site.
Don't get all excited about it. Yeah, you can look at it, see where it's at. The photos are great. I mean, it's good information, but before you really get your heart set on something, you need to call somebody that actually knows what's going on with that property.
Good advice.
Yeah,
Myth number 3.
Yeah, and that kind of feeds over from myth number 2. Online resources can do it all. So I don't know how many times I've had people say, well, on Zillow, it says that the Zestimate of my house should be $500,000 or whatever it is. These real estate sites give you an estimate what your home's worth. They help you calculate monthly mortgage. You'll see all that on Zillow. But don't rely on these tools as the end-all be-all. It's okay, like you said, maybe, perusing on the internet, but this data is really shooting from the hip. They're using information gathered from properties all across the USA, not the local market in your area. So you really need an agent to get boots on the ground to, help you price your property, and don't go by that Zestimate or whatever, whatever they say on those websites, because it's just a general. I mean, taking properties in New York is and not with central Wisconsin. So also it'll talk to you about your, your potential monthly payment on this house and blah, blah. You need to talk to your local lender and, we always tell you to get pre-approved. So just because it says that your payment's going to be $219 a month or whatever it is, you need to call your local lender. So just don't rely too much on a lot of what's on those sites. I'll probably get a call from Zillow later today and be in trouble here, but
Yeah, maybe.
like I said, it's good to look for the information and stuff and get an idea, but call your realtor and find really or your lender.
If they call you, just tell them it was my fault.
I will. I'm going to say this is Mark's idea.
Yep, they can call me. I'll be happy to talk to them.
Right.
Sure, why not? I got nothing to lose.
Right.
All right.
And then myth number 4, if you price your home higher, you'll have room to negotiate. I always like to tell the little parody about back in the day, they would, go to the car dealer and be able to knock a whole bunch of money off and, back and forth and haggling. And no, not really, because if you price a home too high, it will drive away potential buyers. In this day and age, we preach to buyers to get pre-approved, so they know exactly how much house they can afford. If you price it so high, buyers won't even bother looking, and you'll have no one to negotiate with because you'll have nobody coming to look. It's better to set a reasonable price to get buyers through the door. Your realtor can run a market analysis to help price the property to get the most for your property in today's market. So we always talk about offering a market analysis. And really what that is, it's kind of the short version of an appraisal. I mean, we are not licensed appraisers, but we do use the same database as an appraiser would. So we can gather a lot of the information to really help make an educated decision on where we need to price your home.
Good advice. Yep, that's good information.
Yeah.
Well, you've got some properties you want to talk about today.
Yes. So I think I've talked about this one other time, but I have this property by Black River Falls on Hawk Island Road. We're selling it via online auction in 2 parcels. So one is a 25-acre parcel. About 20 is tillable. The balance is wooded. It's got a 3-bedroom home with a 4-car garage. It garden sheds, and it's on the Black River, so you would own Black River frontage. It's nice medium height frontage, so not a lot of a worry about flooding, but it's not steep, so it's like a cliff. It's just really nice, nice house, nice garage, and like I said, that's 25 acres is parcel 1. Parcel 2 is a 40-acre parcel. About 23 of it's tillable. The balance is wooded with mature pines and some other species of lumber in there. 40 by 80 shop with 4 overhead doors and a barn and a chicken coop. So you go on our website and there's drone photography and videography and so much information on there. You can bid on the whole thing, or you can bid on parcel 1 or parcel 2. So many opportunities here. If you want a place to hunt or call home hunting base, you have that on one side of the road. Otherwise, a beautiful home if you want to live on the Black River.
That's a neat property. It really is.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful location over there, too.
Yeah. And so that begins to close here on May 29th. We do have our second open house will be the day before then. So I'll be there from noon to 2 on the 28th to show you around. If you want to get on there and bid, you got plenty of time and beautiful property.
Excellent.
Yeah. The next one is out on Snake Coulee Road here between Whitehall and Blair, a little closer to Blair. It is a Amish-built house, so, great craftsmanship there, 3.83 acres in a private valley there, 7 bedrooms, 1 bath. It does have a drilled well and a conventional septic, and I have all the county permits. They're all permitted, so the only thing that property does not have is electricity, and it's not that far from the road, so it shouldn't take much to bring that in. I don't know what it would exactly entail, but all hardwood floors, beautiful cabinetry. And then it has another detached garage there. So, but that just got reduced. So now that's $188. And if you have any interest in that one, pick up the phone quickly here. We've gotten a lot of interest on it now since that price reduction a few days ago. But
that's a neat property.
Yeah, for $188,000. Yeah, it needs electricity, but boy, try to find something in the country. Yeah. In a nice valley like that with that kind of craftsmanship. That's a deal.
That is a deal.
Yeah. And then the other one I want to talk about is this renovated, renovated's kind of a light word for it, completely gutted, restored, renovated house here in Whitehall, about 2 blocks from the hospital, a block and a half from the hospital. 5-bedroom, 2-bath, with brand new 2-car attached garage, all refinished flooring and woodwork. Like I said, this thing was gutted right down to the studs and rebuilt, and they did not cut corners. Beautiful home, $279,900 that's listed at. That was reduced as well.
Now, where in Whitehall is that, on what street?
So it's right on the corner of Main and Irvin.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's like right on the corner there.
It's that White House.
Beautiful white, yeah.
Oh, that is a pretty house.
I mean, the roof's new, the siding, the windows, sheetrock, wiring, plumbing. I mean, there's literally nothing that isn't new, except for, like I said, she did keep the kind of the historic bones of the house. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful home.
That is a pretty house, and it's a great location. Now, if people want to contact you, what's the best way to do that, Jackie?
My cell phone number is 715-797-3332. You can call, you can text, whatever you're comfortable with.
And check out their website, too, hregroup.com, and go ahead and register if you want to. It's easy to do. That way you can always bid on any of the auctions that they have. It's really simple. If you have any problems, just call them, and they'll be more than happy to help you work
Exactly. Give me a call, text, whatever works for you. I'm happy to help.
Jackie, good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
I appreciate you having us.
Jackie Hansen with Hanson Real Estate Group. Open house here on WHCL every Wednesday